Join us live every Thursday at 10 a.m. on the Sherry Lord Show. This is the Holistic Approach Podcast with weekly guests, doctors, chiropractors, and so much more gather. Go to www.sherrylord.com. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Good morning, everyone. I'm your influencer host, Sherry Lord. And again, thank you for joining us this morning. We have a very special guest, and it's Sierra Cooper. And her topic is going to be a mind over matter. Welcome, Sierra. We're so happy to have you back on our shows. You've been on our other stations, so we're really happy to have you on this podcast. And Sierra is nationally certified bodywork professional, originally from Defiance, Ohio, who specializes in chronic pain and postural realignment therapy with a hands-on need of getting her clients a specific protocol plan back to action. Massage therapy was not only her passion for helping people, but just the foundation she needed to launch her business in Paradise while studying at Institute of Therapeutic Massage. Oh my God, thank you. You have a wealth of information. You've helped a lot of our clients and our watchers, and we're asking that all the people who are watching today, you don't want to miss this. She has a wealth of information. And we just love having her on our show, and we really want you to chat, ask questions. She'll be more than happy to answer anyone's questions. So welcome, Sierra.
Good morning. So thank you for having me back on the show. It's always a pleasure. Today, Mind Over Matter is about the psychology for changing one's life. So a lot of times people fall into bad habits from previous experiences, life experiences, traumas. They get stuck in the negative mindset that doesn't further them moving forward. I see that all the time in my practice. You know, they come to me for answers. They want guidance, but at the same time, it takes a lot of work and a lot of effort on their part. And what I find is a lot of people expect other people to do things for them. And we live kind of in a society where a lot of people have been very complacent, very lazy about taking accountability for their own life and really making certain lifestyle changes to promote a better recovery for their futures. You know, a lot of times preventative, which I did a show with you several months ago, and then restorative. It's harder to get yourself in a better place if you've been chronically ill for a long period of time and you've been making bad decisions. So I made a list of the 5 stages of how a person's previous experiences and mindsets and neurosynapses kind of are formed over a period of time. You know, the thought process is like pre-contemplation, you know, so we always kind of pre-contemplate exactly what it is we want to do in life, what our goal sets are, what we should be looking for to grasp to get ourselves to the next level. So it's not yet acknowledging a problem with where you're at. So pre-contemplation is really important because it's kind of like a false facade. You want to go somewhere, but you're not sure how. And you're not actually pointing the finger at yourself going, hey, I need to change some stuff. So that's number 1. Number 2 is contemplation. So when you're in that contemplation phase, you're actually recognizing and acknowledging that, hey, you know, I'm overweight. I like processed food. I don't like to exercise. I don't like to drink water. So that's the actual, kind of like going, hey, you know, these are the problems in my life. And you want to, but you're just not ready to. So that's usually where I see a lot of my clients. They want to change, but they're not exactly ready to yet. So when you're actually ready to launch, you know, that preparation is really important. So that's number 3. Preparation takes a lot of willpower because that readiness to change is very scary for a lot of people. So the fear factor is, you know, not knowing the end result, how things are actually going to lead you, guide you, and not seeing the black and white at the end of the tunnel. So that's number 3. And number 4, action, willpower to change behavior. So, once you finally get over that hump of fear and you say, okay, now is the time to act. Now I'm going to have the actual willpower. And that takes a lot of strength. I feel like a lot of people that are facing some really, really bad health issues. And psychology applies to a lot of things. It applies to relationships and marriages. It applies to family, friends, circumstances within your work. And then, as moving, just up and moving, just doing all kinds of change can be very fearful. So when you have the willpower within you and you go, okay, nothing's going to hurt me to try this. And you see that it's actually okay to try something new. That's when you actually get smarter. Because Einstein said, if you keep doing the same thing, getting the exact same result, that's the definition of insanity. So you kind of figure out that there's nothing to fear. And then number 5, you kind of go into this maintenance mode. So what I mean by maintenance mode is you kind of go calm. You kind of sustain your behavior for more than 6 months. So if you're sustaining consistency, and a lot of my clients, after they get over that hump and they see all this change is actually really good for them, and they lose weight, they feel better, they're exercising, they're, making progress in the morning when they're getting up, they're going, oh, I don't feel like going back to bed. I'm actually awake. I'm ready to live, to get going to work. I'm enjoying my family and my friends more. I'm more social. I'm not so moody. They understand that, being oneself is really allowing yourself permission to not be on autopilot for the rest of your life. And that's why I think a lot of people feel like they don't deserve to have certain things in their life, whether it be a healthy marriage or a good body or a healthy mindset or a healthy lifestyle within their work, enjoying, their passion, whatever, and not staying contained. It frees you, and it actually not only promotes growth, but it makes you feel better overall as a person. You actually feel free and alive. So how to change someone's mind? Well, that's my intention for a lot of people, and I kind of have to use reverse psychology because with what I do, you've got to make it them. You've got to make it all about them, and it's their decision to change. So it's like I'm giving them the power, and I'm not going, "Hey, you need to do X, Y, Z." That's not what I do. I allow them the positivity and the empowerment to make themselves better as a person. So how to change someone's mind? Well, you go in calm. You don't go in arguing and fighting. That kind of like I always tell spouses, like no one wants to listen to their husband or wife. So if you go in there pointing the finger, they're just gonna kind of ignore you. I'm gonna whatever, You go in calm, you go in loving, you go in with a really good, fresh slate, and you go, hey, have you thought about this? And you get that dialogue going. It gets them excited because it makes them think that they're actually capable of doing something that they never thought they could. Number 1, finding common ground. So I do this a lot when I talk to clients or I talk to my friends or family and they're going through a lot of problems. I always tell them about my previous experiences in life. I always tell them about where I came from, about my background, about problems personally I've struggled with. And when you share, and I wish more people would do this because people need to come together and share. They need to understand no one's perfect. No one's ever going to be perfect. It's really about being empathetic and just going, hey, it's okay to be a little screwed up, because we all are, no matter how perfect someone looks on the outside, it doesn't matter. They've got other stuff. Everybody has their stuff, their homework to do. Um, then kind of like going through an interrelational personal journey and allowing them to not only be themselves, but to actually self evaluate. So that's really important. I just want to point that out. That's probably one of the hardest things to do because we always love to self distract because it's easier. It's easier to project. It's easier to call somebody else out on all their BS, and go, oh, hey, you're wrong, and let me tell you why, and you should do this, and the reason why your life isn't fulfilling. But it's really hard to sit down with yourself and look at yourself in the mirror and go, like for example, Sierra, you need to be more organized, which I'm sure my accountant's laughing right now. So because I'm very like I'm a multitasker, and one thing that I could definitely get better at is organization. So and I think everybody, the busier you are, the harder it is to find the time, and we all kind of make a little excuse here and there because we have so much stuff, and there's a list of things we really want to do, and there's a list of things that is like, I'll get to it later. So like I'm saying, it's okay to be a little flawed. It's okay to be yourself. Everybody always compares themselves to everybody else. I don't. I'm my own person. I like who I am. Maybe some people don't, but I like who I am. And I understand me more now than ever in my life because I've came to a point where I've had to self-evaluate. I've had to be harder on myself to try and get me to a whole different level of a person. And harder, not by critical, but just by going, you need to sit in the void, and you need to really be okay with being alone and going, hey, what do you want? And I've done that. And I feel really confident now that I've actually done that. The other thing is setting healthy boundaries and timelines. So I'm really bad at this because I want to do it all now. And I'm gun ho, and I have a million lists, and I'm probably a little ADD. But they always say that's a sign of intelligence. So I'm just giving you a pat on the back. But no, but I honestly think it's really hard because I love to do everything. And so going slow is hard for me. So for a lot of you out there, if you have a really hard time doing this, it's really, really good to write everything down and to keep a journal, to keep a log, because you can see, you can go, oh, wow, 3 months ago, this is what I was doing. And now look at me, now I'm actually really successful in maybe like your business. Maybe you're profiting more. Maybe you're actually expanding more, kind of like you're doing, you're moving, you're growing, you're doing things, you're making moves. So that's really good. And then lastly, realistic. If you make realistic goals, and a lot of people think it's boring, as do I, because in my mind, I'm like, oh, realistic, that's normal. Who wants to be normal? When you make realistic goals, it gets you to the bigger things. I realized where I kind of went wrong in the past because I was trying to go too fast. And I was actually putting myself in a space of being nervous and anxious and overwhelmed. So if you're doing that, whether it's your personal body, your health, your business, your family life, your problems personally at home, be nice to yourself. It's really important to be kind to yourself, not just to others, but be kind to yourself, because I find that through forgiving yourself, you can detach from the outcome. you can detach and go, hey, you know what? I might not know how this is going to turn out for me, but I do know that I am a good person and I'm trying my best. So that is actually a very good, peaceful way of kind of looking at life. And then I kind of went into what triggers your change. So I've had a lot of things in my life that have set me into the work that I do. So, I had a very complicated childhood growing up, and I grew up kind of surrounded by chaos for a lot of my life. And most people don't know this, but I just celebrated the 13-year anniversary of my dad's passing. And it was very, very difficult because me and my dad we were best friends. He was my stability. He was my rock. He was like my go-to person in my life that I saw as like my foundation. And to have that ripped away was traumatic. Um, Trauma, independence, seeing other people in your childhood or around you that have been very codependent, it makes you want to be more successful. It drives you. It makes you want to be maybe more of an entrepreneur or a better mother or a better friend or just a caregiver in general. Competence, success and efficiency, right? So efficiency in life is really tough, especially nowadays, because everything's moving fast. So you can't keep up with yourself, which is me. I'm always in a rush. And I expect a lot of myself. And that's probably one of my downfalls. I'm probably one of my worst critics because I beat myself up over things that I probably shouldn't. I take my work very personally. I take my relationships very personally. I'm not perfect again, so I do miss things. But I do overall really care. I don't just care about my work team, um, myself, my clients. I care about people in general. I care about life in general. When you've been through trauma and it takes you to an independent mode and it makes you successful in what you do, you always are a little critical and judgmental of every single step you take, which is why a lot of times people fall into health issues. People stress themselves out way too much. I find I've gotten a lot better over the years about not stressing myself out over the stuff that doesn't matter as much, even other people's opinions. I used to be very bad at this. I used to go home and cry if someone, didn't like something I did, or I would, just like be like, oh my God, I can't be myself. And that's not it anymore. I'm like really good in life now. I'm really good with just going, hey, you know what? This is life. I'm a single mom. I've got a child that's 15 years old. I'm doing the best that I can with what I have. And if people can't understand that, then they can't. And I think we all need to become a little more understanding. So that kind of is what triggers a lot of change in people. They see like, oh wow, I got into a car accident and almost died. So I've had broken bones. I've had, scars. I've had bruising. I've had concussions. I've had all kinds of great stuff in my life personally. And then that kind of makes you go like, oh wow, my hip hurts, my back hurts, or you get up in the morning and so you got to tell yourself like, what do you need to be doing? And I've had other life stuff come in and kind of throw me off balance, emotionally. I'm definitely a very sensitive person when it comes to absorbing or being more empathetic to my environment. So if it's not a good environment for me, it throws my routine off and it doesn't make me feel motivated. So to all of you out there, whoever is trying to decide on change, you already know what you need to do. Just do it. Okay. So a growth mindset. A growth mindset is actually probably one of the easiest things because you can project out a few years and you can go, oh wow, I'd love that house in Miami, or I'd love to, not materialistic, but just like a vision board of what you want. Oh, I want to travel more, or I want a better family life. And, I want to be able to sit down at 5 o'clock in the evening with my family and not feel like, oh, I can't cook tonight. I've got to do this, got to do that. So, growth mindset is change your expectations. So, expectations really kind of suck. I'm sorry to say that word, but we have expectations of ourselves, other people, again, the outcome of the situation. And, unfortunately, if you can, like I said before, I live in the void and not really understand all the gray stuff and be okay with that. And that's more of a spiritual growth type thing.
Mhm.
Being able to ask for help and not be that person that is like that vulnerable child that goes, I, I never had help before, so why should I have help now? I don't deserve it. No, you do. And so that makes other people criticize people and have higher expectations of others. Whereas you just need to look and go, hey, you know what? Life is not all that great sometimes. Sometimes you have bad days. Other people have bad days. And you just have to be okay with that. You have to be okay with not being okay. So expectations, go slow in your health, go slow, stretching, strengthening, eating good. Don't pile too much on. Go slow. Take your time. Pick like 3 things and go slow. And then change it over time. So change your emotions. Create a space, notice your feelings, and label your feelings. And that can be really scary. So sometimes you have to recognize, hey, do I have anger issues at this? Or should I be maybe, thinking about like, how am I going to be happier? Or if you need to let yourself cry over things, because sometimes you just need to get it out and vent. But label how you're feeling, because that feeling will drive you. And it will drive you in a different sense. Like I'm writing a book. So I'm writing a book. I loved you in reverse. That's going to be the type. And it's about my life. But I had to change some stuff. So it's about loving yourself. It's about recognizing. It's about a mirror effect of going, hey, acceptance of the emotion and practicing mindfulness is okay. It's okay to meditate. It's okay to get up in the morning and not jump out of bed and feel like you're going to have a heart attack before you even start your day. Because that's me most of the time. So I have to constantly tell myself it's okay to slow down. And in fact, I do a heck of a lot better if I slow down.
Mhm.
Identifying and reducing triggers. So I honestly feel like most people don't realize this because they have like so many hobbies, like they love music or painting or writing. But honestly, if people would just try to exercise just a little bit, not just their mind, not just their, through, like I said, self-expression of music, like I actually physically exercise. Physical exercise, actually, it's amazing. You don't want to do it initially, and then you do, and it's like, wow. It's like then that makes all the other things enhanced, like writing or reading a really good audiobook and going, "Ooh, I'm going to change my financial status today," or I'm going to go ahead and paint this painting because I want to become like an art gallery uh, critique of sorts and go, hey, this is kind of what I want to do with my life after I retire, whatever it is. Just try to be a little more mindful and identify and go into what you're telling yourself. You know, did that physical exercise actually make me feel so much better? Yes. So you create a new neurosynapsis in your brain. It's scientifically proven. And then it goes, oh, this feels really good. Norepinephrine, serotonin, dopamine, all of that. It goes up. So all these people out there that are using enhancement drugs and just in general, just like I take vitamins, I take supplements, I take all this cool stuff, right? Now, nothing illegal, but I have a lot of clients that are like depressed, and they're depressed because they just, it's either situational, it's environmental, it's the fact that they've never had anyone really good around them just to kind of love on them and support them and go, like, you don't need like this med to make you happier. Like, what about thinking about being good to yourself, and before you take care of other people, take care of you. Think about what makes you happy. And I've done that over this past year of my life personally. What makes me happy? What is going to make Sierra the best version of Sierra and put her on the road to success down the road? I have not accomplished all my goals yet. Not yet, but I will. God's time. So I don't know the exact timeline for everything, but I do know that I'm very motivated. I'm very driven, and I do have like that vision of what things may look like down the road. But I also try to speak it into the universe, and I also try to speak it into truth. Like, this is who I am. So people need to speak it. Be the person that you want to be, and don't be negative. Don't say you can't do it. Don't say I'm not going to. Don't say I'm ugly, or I'm not smart enough, or I'm not talented enough, or envy other people that have a lot of money and go, oh God, I wish I had that mansion, or I wish I had that car. Materialistic things, they don't mean a thing. It's nice to have at the end of the day, but what makes you great and what makes your character wonderful is the integrity that grows in you. So I just wanted to close with something that I wrote, and I do believe in it very much. So understanding one's triggers helps the acceptance that change is forever abundant. And that's very true. Everything we do is temporary. Everybody is temporary. And our learning experiences are on a daily basis. So we do need to realize that we need to look in ourselves for change. First, before we help others, again, that will allow us to attract what we want. And actually, you told me that a long time ago. If you want things in your life to happen, you have to be that person.
Mm-hmm.
It's taken me a long time. It's taken me a lot of struggle. It's taken me, some painful experiences, some things that I did not want to go through at the time. And I look back on it now, and I'm so thankful for that. I'm actually very grateful for every experience I've had. So I have no regrets. The other thing is consistency will always be the winning ticket. Achieving better opportunities and self-gratification through hard work. So I have a saying in life that nothing comes easy. There is no easy pill. There is no easy route to success, to achieving a nice body that you're proud of, to achieving education in something that you really want to learn. And it takes teamwork. So until people figure out that they can't do it alone, nobody can do this life alone. We cannot do this life alone. We need people. And I hear people all the time complain about, like, their spouse or their kids or their coworkers or their boss or their that. it's really so simple. Like, why can't people just communicate? Just communicate.
Mhm.
That's it. You just don't argue, communicate, and just, it is what it is. And a lot of people don't like that, but it really is what it is. It's simple and it's easy. We complicate all the stuff by dumping in more problems on top of problems. It's like, just look at things, look at life for how it is, and that way it makes your life so much better. And I labeled this mind over matter, and it's kind of a pun because I'm kind of dorky like that. Um, your mind literally creates the rest of your life. Whether it's going to be you're going to look at yourself in the mirror and feel empowered by, wow, like look at these muscles, look at how good I look in this outfit, but how good I feel. Or is it just the fact that we have a society that just tells us, like, it's okay, accept what you don't want? Whether that be you're driving a really broken down vehicle that sits in your driveway and you're coming into a house that's unfulfilled. You don't have the love in your life that you want. You don't have the whatever it is in your life that you want. You need to start with yourself
Yeah.
and empower in your mind what you want. And that will take you over the hump. Whether that is, like I said, your physical body, or keep other people telling you, oh, you can't do that. I've had people tell me that in my career. I've actually had people tell me, there's no way. No way. You're just, you're just a body worker. You're just this, you're just that. Well, you know what? Sorry to say it. I'm probably going to prove them wrong. At that time, I'm going to prove them wrong. And and that's a good thing. That's a motivational thing. That makes me feel driven to not point the finger and say, hey, you were wrong, but to say, hey, you need to look at little tiny me, and you need to become that kind of person that can take yourself from down here in life, where you started out and you had all this stuff go wrong. You had your father that was your best friend ripped away from you. You had a daughter without a father. You had, the single mom life, which is very, very tough. For a lot of single moms out there, I give you a lot of kudos because it is really tough. And I have a great kid, and I'm very thankful and very proud of her. But there are some mornings you wake up and you go, how am I going to do this? But you have to remind yourself that no matter what happens in your life, you are going to make it, and you are going to get that opportunity to have everything you want. You just have to believe it. So mind over matter.
Thank you so much. We want to say thank you to Dan for his very uplifting statement he had there.
Yeah. Hi, Danny.
So nice of him. We appreciate him, and we so appreciate having you on our show. And you are amazing. I'm going to bring up something here. Can you tell people how they can get a hold of you? Because I'm going to bring this up. It's going to block us a little bit, but it's going to be a picture of you and your business.
Okay.
But we can still hear us.
Okay, so you can find me on my website, Sierra's BodyWorks with an X.com. You can also find me on Instagram, Sierra's Integrative BodyWorks, or Sierra Cooper, my personal Facebook page, Sierra Cooper, or my Instagram, Sierra's Integrative BodyWorks. Obviously, I'm doing podcast radio with you. And eventually, I am starting a YouTube channel, and I'm sure my website guy is going to be watching this and going, okay, Sierra, I've been waiting. But I am going to be really working hard on certain things. I've had some personal little things to take care of, but there are some things that I do want to start in with, and I'll get there. So, and if they want to call me at my cell phone, obviously it's listed on the website.
Yes.
941-214-0954. It's my cell phone. So if you want to call me, call me. If you want to text me, text me. And my email is also on the website as well. So
Thank you. We just so love having you, and we'll have you back again. You have a wealth of information that's really helping all our listeners, and I'm sure it will make an impact. And make sure you contact her because she's very good. She's excellent. And you can also go to our website if you want to be a guest on our show. All the information is there. We have Sierra on our website as well, listed under the Holistic Approach page, and go to www.sherrylord.com. And you will see all the podcasts. You can also go to YouTube and you can download the ones you want to see. We also stream to YouTube and 6 different social media pages. And we just want to say thank you again, Sierra. We love having you. And I want to thank all our listeners and all who are watching us. Thank you so much and have an amazing journey and blessed life.
you too.